So the WNBA media is absolutely positively lying to you about the impact of Caitlin Clark on the viewership of this league. And like we all kind of know that, because the reality is that yes, the WNBA was growing, but the reason why there was exponential growth, the reason why I'm not joking about this. I'm not going to say the reason why Unrivaled exists, because I do think Unrivaled exists without the Caitlin Clark thing. The reason why Project B exists, because Project B is literally tech bros. It is tech bros trying to make money off women's basketball. The reason why Project B is a thing, the reason why so many, like these players don't all, like a bunch of aren't going to have to go overseas. The reason why Unrivaled grew so much year on year is because of the exponential boom caused by Caitlin Clark. And last year, the WNBA rose in viewership for national TV games. If you guys don't know, Caitlin Clark games are 3 times the amount of viewers as non-Caitlin Clark and non-Fever games. The entire league wants to give Caitlin Clark no credit, and this is the league, the media, and by the way, I say the league because this is the media the league are promoting. This is the media that the league are promoting. Like, as in, you can literally, I would not be surprised. Like, you can refer to Kate. I mean, I stand by this. I don't even stand by this. There is literally a thing. Somebody tweeted out an entire tweet insulting Caitlin Clark, and where they didn't actually mention Caitlin Clark's name, but just referred to her as quote unquote white bread. An entire insult calling her white bread, and a credentialed journalist responded to it in a positive way. So no mention of Caitlin Clark, and then they pretended that, oh, I didn't even realize that. It's like, there was no mention of Caitlin Clark. You're the one that equated an insult calling somebody white bread to Caitlin Clark, and the league will not do anything about that. The league will not do anything about it. Why will the league not do anything about it? Because they're scared. Because it is not politically correct. It is, if you are pro Caitlin Clark, you are not an activist. And that's not even, it's not a basketball league. The league doesn't deserve Caitlin Clark. Nor does the league deserve Paige Beckers. Nor does the league deserve, honestly, this league doesn't even fucking deserve Angel Reese. This league does not deserve any basketball players. It doesn't deserve the brand. This league does not deserve any of these players. It doesn't. Because you better believe, if it wasn't for Caitlin, like, if the growth of this league was from Angel Reese as well, they wouldn't be happy either. Because at the end of the day, there is a group of players that are older players in this league that did celebrate Caitlin Clark's injury, that did celebrate it. And you better believe it. Like, no one denied the players felt vindicated by Caitlin Clark getting injured, and the league grew in viewership. Why did the league grow in viewership? Caitlin Clark had more nationally televised games in her second year as her rookie year. Like, that is a fact. Caitlin Clark had more nationally televised games in her second year as she did in her rookie year. For the Indiana Fever, they had 41 games on national TV. And also, people do realize in sports that, like, if players become fans of the team, they'll watch the team. The playoffs had more views. Why? Because the Indiana Fever play more games. Like, it's really simple. When the Fever play more games, league gets more views. But they don't seem to care about that, because all it is that league had more views, Caitlin Clark injured equals we don't need Caitlin Clark. The WNBA, as a league and as a group of players, and by the way, I mean this when I say this as the majority of vets in this league, or the majority of high-profile vets, would rather see the league continue to fail without Caitlin Clark than succeed with her. And you can see it by the way they speak. You can see it in all ways. They would rather see it fail without her than succeed with her. I think they would rather see it succeed without her. In an ideal scenario for them, the league succeeds and Caitlin Clark is gone. I don't think they want Caitlin Clark in this league. I don't think this league deserves Caitlin Clark. And by the way, I don't think this league deserves Caitlin. I don't think it deserves Angel. I don't think it deserves Paige. Like, this is one of those ironic things where it's like, as much as people want to talk about the brand of the WNBA and everything, this is the one time where it's like, the players actually would have the power. Like, if Caitlin, Paige, and Angel, all three of them, and heck, Aja, Sabrina, if the top 7 most relevant players in this league decided that they were all going to go and set up their own league, that league would outgrow the WNBA. It would. Because the reason why Unrivaled and Project B will never outgrow the WNBA is because they don't have Caitlin Clark. Like, it's as simple as that. Any of these leagues that are trying to, compete with the WNBA and they think, oh, we have all the best players. That's not it. People don't give a flying fuck. Like, is Caitlin Clark better than Maya Moore? Probably not. No offense to Maya Moore. No one gave a fuck. No one really cared. Is Caitlin Clark ever going to do what A'ja Wilson did? Probably not. Nobody cares. A'ja Wilson's not that interesting a player to watch. Nobody cares. And that's one of those things where it's like, you don't watch sports because of how good a player is. You watch sports because of how exciting a player is, or because of the fact that if they're able to tell a story, if they're able to make you care. And there are players that are able to make you care about watching them because you at least feel some emotion, whether that be in a positive way, whether it be in a negative way. There are players other than these that actually do make you care. No, if I'm going to be completely honest, you care about watching Kennedy Carter. You either want to watch her lose or you want to watch her win. Same with Angel Reese. In fairness to Angel Reese, she is very, very good at pissing a lot of people off as she taunts every single game she wins. She doesn't win that many games, so she taunts her opponents every single game she wins. So yeah, if you are an opponent of Angel Reese as a fan, you're going to fucking hate her. And that's and that's in a positive way. She's going to taunt someone. So what? Who cares? Who cares, honestly? When it's all said and done, who cares? You're looking at a league that could grow in a certain way. But the fact is that Time Magazine even admitted it, that there are, that there were players felt vindicated because Caitlin Clark was injured. And they very much implied, and by the way, they implied that the players were celebrating a player injury. Was no question about it. That was the implication. And did the league make any statement about that? No. What did the league do? They promoted the article. That said players in the league essentially were happy that another player got injured. No other league would allow this to happen. No other league would have allowed this to happen. This wouldn't have happened. This article would not have seen the light of day if this was in any other league. But in the WNBA, you're allowed to go at Caitlin Clark. And they don't, the league doesn't deserve her. It absolutely doesn't. And then you have A'ja Wilson being like, oh, people don't read this. People read what they want to read with joy. It's like, no. If I was A'ja Wilson shouldn't have let it be. By the way, there's no way A'ja Wilson's team didn't read this before. A'ja Wilson's team shouldn't have let this be in there. And by the way, I don't think A'ja Wilson said anything negative about Caitlin Clark. I'm not attacking A'ja Wilson necessarily. But the fact is that it shouldn't have ever seen the light of day. That section should have been removed from the article before it got published. And I think everyone will be in agreement with that. Even the most pro A'ja person, unless you are an actively just a Caitlin Clark hater, you will admit that the section about Caitlin Clark and basically saying players celebrate, implying that players were celebrating Caitlin Clark's injury should have been cut out of the article. Because it took, if for no other reason, that it took away from A'ja's spotlight. The spotlight that, in fairness, she was unbelievable. So she's unbelievable last year. I'm not going to question that. But there is absolutely no argument you can make that section should have remained in. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to this league. Because I hate to say this because there's a lot of players I like. It's basketball, and women's basketball is the fact is that women's basketball is growing and needs to continue to grow. But this league, the media, everything, and the one thing I always will say about this is that in 15 years' time, if the players and the league and the media don't get in their own way, women's basketball is going to grow. You can see it from college basketball. You can see it from overseas. Even as an Irish person, you can see the ability level of players in women's basketball improving, especially from a guard perspective. You can see the skill level is there. You can see the handle. If you even look in college, Adam Mileage, Full Wiley, Ada Kiyomi McMillan, some of these players, what they're able to do. Tanaya Latson when she was at FSU, Flaw J. Johnson. These players are, and the one thing that especially in the college, not even in the college side, just especially with young players on the women's side is that they are doing a much better job than the men on social media. And that is very relevant in today's society. The fact is that now, again, we're now in a situation when it comes to women's sports that there's no real stigma around it, where you're now seeing influencers that are sports stars and they're being positive influences on kids. And you're going to see continued growth in the sport. So I think it's going to be very, very clear that what's going to be the right and the wrong side and what the vets and the media are doing right now is going to come out as the wrong side of history. The problem is I am scared that it's going to be a case of by the time that happens, you're going to see so many star level players just be essentially fucking have hate campaigns, and Caitlin Clark won't be the last one. She's just they just hate her. And people are like, oh, they just hate her fans. No, they don't. No, they don't. They hate her. Because let's never forget the media. Let's never, ever, ever, ever forget that a credentialed journalist tried to make Caitlin Clark's stalker getting arrested a negative about her. Tried to make it so that saying that Caitlin Clark dealt with a stalker situation wrong when a stalker found her house. Never forget that. Anyway, I'll see you guys.